Pride and Prejudice review of chapter 4. I think the previous reviews were about vocabulary. This one is about vocabulary as well as the story. So be ready. Okay, so what can you tell? No, in your opinion, why is breeding important for people in Pride and Prejudice? Answer. Well, your answer can vary a lot, but you have to remember that breeding, you are talking about your ancestry, right? Keep in mind as well, you can it can describe your ancestry, as I told you, but it can also describe your upbringing or education, which is pretty okay. It's pretty important in the novel as well. Remember, the narrator and some characters think it's important that some guys they have class. Let's put it this way, right? Remember, you can have class because you belong to a social class, but you can also have class because you know how to behave, you know how to dress properly, you know how to talk properly, right? So that's pretty important in the book, all right? Question: in what situations or situation would you expect to get maternity leave? Answer: you would expect to get maternity leave when you get pregnant, right? And then you can stay home, you don't need to go to work, you can enjoy your son or your daughter. Question: in our story, who gave who leave, and what was the leave for? You know, just let me make an observation. According to traditional rules of English, it would be who gave whom, you know, something. A little parenthesis here. Originally, whom is the the objective form of who, right? Meaning what? Meaning that you're going to use whom when who is the object of the sentence, and who when it is the subject of the sentence. This rule has been half forgotten in English nowadays, right? Think about the sentence, "Oh, who did you see yesterday?" It would be very rare to encounter somebody saying, "Whom did you see yesterday?" All right? Whom are you talking about? Okay, so we say, who are you talking about? Even though who in this context is the receiver of the action. Remember, the object is this, right? The receiver of the action. But why did I tell you that the rule was half forgotten and not completely forgotten? Because let's imagine, instead of saying who are you talking about, I say, about who are you talking? Then many natives would feel uncomfortable with that, all right? So you would have to go something like, about whom are you talking, right? So nowadays, what happens? What is my advice? Natives tend to use whom after preposition, all right? Or when it's obvious that who is the object, like who gave whom, right? But most of the times they forgot this rule, all right? And even people who correct others when others don't use whom, for example, about who, they say, no, about whom are you talking? Even those people in other contexts, they're going to use who, right? Where traditionally whom should have been used. So in the end, my suggestion is avoid using who after preposition, you know? First, because many natives would expect you to use whom. Second, because it's the more natural way of saying things now. You know, you send the preposition to the end. Okay, but of course there will be some specific cases like this case I've just told you. But in that case, you can say whom, or you can even say who, but be ready to defend your point of view, just as I did here. Okay, well, so who gave who/whom a leave, and for what? Lizzie gave her sister a leave to like Mr. Bingley. I know some of those questions I have already asked you, but the idea here is practice, right? I want you to internalize stuff, and I want you to remember as much as possible of this book. Well, next question. What must a young man be if he can? Answer: a young man must be, okay, should be handsome if he can. It's kind of his obligation, all right? If you're young, you should be handsome, right? It's very ugly to be ugly, all right? So don't be ugly, all right? Okay. Next question. According to Lizzie, Jane was blind to what in other people? Answer: Jane was blind to the follies of other people, meaning the foolishness, right, of other people. Question: if you do something in a haste, and you are hasty, do you think this thing will be well done? Answer: probably not, because you were doing it too fast. Okay, you are in a hurry. Okay. Question: how often do you converse with your friends? Answer: I don't know, but that's so fancy, right? Instead of talk, converse, right? That's nice. Question: why was Elizabeth's how can I say? Let me try. Why was Elizabeth not as pliant as her sister judging people? So it was not pliant. She had no pliancy. Difficult question, right? Answer: first of all, if you have pliancy, it means that your judgment is bendable, okay? Something like flexible. So her judgment was not, because she was not flattered as her sister, so her judgment was not bended. You know, it happens very frequently. I commented in the other video about that. Question: what was the fortune of the sisters there? You know, Mr. Bingley's sisters. Answer: they had a fortune of £20,000. That's important. Money is important here. So we should, we must keep that in mind, right? Let me see if I have any other question. Okay. Question: what kind of occupation needs pliancy? Answer: I don't know. You are a yoga instructor, or you are a gymnast, right? Or I don't know what else. If you're a manager as well, but then not physical pliancy, right? You should be pliant, because I don't know, if you just go against the client or against all the employees, you won't get very far, right? So you have to have this kind of pliancy, right, when it's necessary. Question: would you like to have a manor? Answer: yes, I would, and for sure you would, because a manor is a landed estate, right? Question: what did the manor give Mr. Bingley? Answer: well, according to the text, the manor with the good house gave him liberty, right? Question: because he already, now he has that kind of liberty, what will he probably not do? Answer: he will probably not buy a estate, because this is a guy who loves comfort, and he doesn't want to go through the trouble of spending a huge amount of money and choosing a place and all of that. All right, so my question is, so won't his family ever own a estate? Property estate here, right? You remember that. You remember real estate agency, right? Real estate agency. Okay, so my question is that, won't his family ever own estate? Answer: probably yes, it will, but he will leave the next generation to purchase. All right. Okay. Question: ductile. I don't know. Can you tell me a material that is ductile? Answer: I don't know, certain kinds of plastic, right? Rubber, for sure, okay? Because ductile is able to undergo change of form without breaking. I should have said Play-Doh. You know Play-Doh, of course. Play-Doh is very ductile. Capable of being molded or shaped like plastic. I don't know, another thing would be mud, right? Okay. So, question: what are the people in your life that are endeared to you? Answer: keep in mind, endeared is not exactly dear to you, right? It's much more attached to you in a positive way than just somebody you like. People who are endeared to me are, I don't know, my wife, my kids, my friends, and etc. Okay, so let me see if I have any other questions. No, I don't think so. Let's finally go to chapter 5, right?